Yo, what's up? What's up, everybody? It's your man Chuck Creekmur, aka Jigsaw, here with DJ Thorough.
Yes.
And we are here with another thoroughbred MC, businessman, and legend, Willie D.
Icon. Forgot the word icon. You know what I mean? Iconic. Give this man his flowers.
Of the Geto Boys.
Geto Boys.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, man, you know, just happy to be here.
Happy to be here. We're happy to have you, man. Definitely. Word. You know, as I've always maintained, man, you're one of my favorites of all time. Definitely always singing your praises, even when you don't know.
Yeah.
The other day, I just sent him a screenshot of a conversation on Facebook we were having.
Right.
You know, we was having this top 50 MC, this, 50th anniversary conversation. And I was like, man, we got to put some more respect on my man Willie D's name, man.
No, you're right.
And I had Big Boy from Outkast in there. We were, just chopping it up a little bit. So, first things first, man, let's talk about that thing, that hip-hop 50th anniversary of hip-hop and all that. All of us are having conversations. Now, the conversations that we had earlier in the year are a little different now. We're in August now. This is the month of hip-hop's, birth, so to speak. So first of all, what are your thoughts in general of this year of celebration?
Shit's whack.
Willie D, I love it. There it is.
Yeah, because it's a lot of it is being put on and presented by gatekeepers who don't have the best interest of the culture at heart. And it's a money grab for them. And they're picking and choosing who they think should receive praise, who should receive accolades. And, the trip part about it is that at one point, we were all outcasts. All of us in hip-hop were outcasts, including the executives, including the label owners. We were all outcasts. And as time went by, we slowly started to penetrate the power structure of the music industry. And we started getting in these powerful positions. And as we got in these powerful positions and started hosting award shows, and we started being able to curate playlists and on and on and on, we started saying, you know what, I'm gonna bring in my people who I think is relevant, who I fuck with. And one of the biggest problems is, a lot of the people who make these decisions are from not just the East Coast, but from New York. And that's a problem. Right. That is problematic because, hip-hop may have started in New York, but hip-hop is worldwide. And we've all, hip-hop would not be the same without the West Coast. It would not be the same without the South. It would not be the same without the Midwest.
Right.
We all have made tremendous contributions to this art form. In fact, I would argue that without the rest of us, hip-hop would not have survived.
Right. You need diversity. I agree.
So why are you trying to prevent others from getting their shine and recognition? What I suggest is that I think that it's so biased. I suggest that each region hold their own award shows or do their own top 50 playlist. Do their own top 50 MCs, top 50 greatest hip-hop groups of all times. Because I can tell you right now, I think Billboard listed Geto Boys at somewhere around 22, 23, something like
28.
That. Yeah. What's 28?
28.
Greatest groups of all time?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, bro.
That's bullshit.
Let me tell you something. I know for a motherfucking fact, there ain't 20 groups better than, there ain't 10 hip-hop groups better than Geto Boys.
Talk about it.
Right. That's
a motherfucking fact.
Yeah.
All right. So while I salute those guys who did get listed before us, because all of those acts are great acts, I would give them that.
Most of them.
You know.
Right.
No, well, you know, I think the ones that they had before us, those are all of them.
I haven't seen the list all. We talked about it earlier.
I saw the list.
Okay.
Now, there are others that are on that list that I feel like ain't really deserving to be on that list at all.
Yeah.
But I know for a motherfucking fact there ain't no 10 hip hop groups better than Geto Boys.
Right.
You know, hell, I'd argue that there ain't one. You know,
as you should,
because let me tell you something, bro. Like some of the groups that they have on there, they only had like 2-3 albums.
Yeah,
you know,
that's what I'm saying. That's my point.
And even the ones who had more albums, we had 7 studio albums. Even the ones who had more albums, put our shit up next to theirs, play song by song by song by song, back to back to back to back, and you can't touch it.
Right.
Our shit is back to back to back. Ain't no song fillers. Right. I mean, there ain't no album fillers.
Yeah.
Right. Every single song, you're like, oh shit. Oh, you waiting on a break. You can't go to you can't go outside and come back.
Right.
No, you're gonna listen to every one of those songs because there's information and instructions in every one of those songs, and we jamming like a fool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing about these lists too, we can't, we although we do because it's our art, you know what I mean? We can't really take it necessarily to heart because that's somebody's opinion. We got to keep in mind these lists are somebody's opinion of who they think is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we shouldn't take it to heart, but it is dangerous information to spew when you're putting the Geto Boys at 28, and then you'll put City Girls before you. I'm gonna say it.
And the other thing is, you know, who are these people making the list? What's the pedigree of the person making the list? Because to me, and I do know the pedigree of some of those lists, but I know for a fact, and I know one of my quote unquote OGs was a part of some of the lists. I'm not gonna specify, but he was very upset and very frustrated with the final product. And so even then, it's out of their hands too. Because I think, like you might mention, there are agendas involved in these. So when you say City Girls, not to pick on the City Girls, but just to say, where are they in the 50 years of hip hop? Where are they really honestly put? And Billboard is an institution, for example.
Right.
Just like the Source was an institution.
Right.
You know, I'm talking about credible outlets.
Credible outlets, right.
Yeah. So,
in my opinion, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I have to say this. City Girls had no business being on that list. Where they are.
What list were they on?
The Billboard's greatest hip-hop groups of all time.
They on that list?
They're on the list. And then you got groups like...
They got let me tell you something. Get the fuck out of here with that. You know, like I'm going to tell you straight up now, and you just... Let me go ahead and say it before anybody else say it. I'm old. I'm a has been. I don't make records no more and all that shit. Whatever the fuck you want to say. All right. But I know for a motherfucking fact that they should not be on that list. There have been so many really great hip hop acts. You know, to me, a great hip hop act is that act that you're left in awe with. You like, man, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like, if you looked at what their body of work and you hear what they're doing, you're like, oh man, I couldn't do that shit. Like, and I'm gonna say this too. Y'all were talking about Big Boy and me not getting enough recognition as MCs, you know, on these top lists or whatever. How is that even possible when I know for a fact that I've written over half of the music, half of that shit y'all say y'all love about Geto Boys, I wrote it. Yeah. You know, I wrote my shit, and I wrote almost everything that came out of Bushwick Bill's mouth came out of my head first. Yeah. So I'm a bad boy, right? So how is it that y'all love Geto Boys so much, but Willie D ain't never mentioned? Okay? So, and you look at Big Boy. How can you put Outkast at number 1 and Big Boy wrote perhaps at least half of that shit? Yeah. And he's not mentioned. Right. How you love Outkast? The shit don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. And all you motherfuckers who are writing these lists and coming up with these lists, you motherfuckers have no credibility because you don't know what the hell you're doing. Right. What are your standards? Y'all niggas talk about lyrics. Oh, he's lyrical. He lyrical. Nigga, fuck your lyrical shit. Fuck all that shit. If you write music, if you write songs, you're writing lyrics, which makes you a lyricist. Now, if you want to come up with some more shit, you want to come up with a new phrase, and you want to say he's slick. You know, he's slippery, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Right.
Call it that.
Yeah.
But I'm a motherfucking lyricist.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the motherfuckers who put it down for real.
Yeah.
I did it for real. And I didn't do it just for myself. I've written for other artists who had hit songs.
Right.
Okay? So miss me with that bullshit. When you start talking about who's this or who that, you gotta miss me with that bullshit if you ain't talking about Willie D. And to your point, this music, these lists are subjective.
Right.
But what's dangerous about these lists are you fucking with people's money and you fucking with their legacy.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Because when people hear a list from a so-called reputable source like Billboard or let's say, you know, BT or XXL or any of these magazines, institutions, AllHipHop.com, they take that shit to heart.
Yeah.
And they say if they're saying it, well, it must be true.
Must be true.
Because these guys are at, you know, the top. They're the gatekeepers. They're the one, this is all they do. So they must know what they're talking about. They had a whole team of motherfuckers, you know, breaking these artists down and saying, well, flow, content, album sales, all that old shit. You know, so people believe that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm hot about this whole situation with Earl Spence and Crawford.
Crawford, right.
Terrence Crawford.
Right.
People saying that Earl Spence should retire. One horrible fight.
Yeah.
Let's put it out there. It was a horrible performance in terms of him getting hit so much.
Right.
But if you think about the way he fought, the dude kept coming the entire fight.
Right.
It ain't like he was just laying on the ground getting stomped
Right.
out.
He kept getting up,
Yeah.
coming
The
back.
man kept getting up and swinging and coming, attacking.
An undefeated fighter.
Right.
At that.
Undefeated fighter. The dude kept attacking. Yes, he got shut down. Yes, he got shut down. But how many fighters did Floyd Mayweather shut down and smash up that are world champions and Hall of Famers who continued to win after they fought
Canelo.
Mayweather?
Canelo's one of them.
Canelo is
Yeah.
a primary example.
Yeah.
So to say that this man should just quit, it's like at the first sign of a really bad loss, he should get out, quit. People making jokes about this man. Oh, he need to quit. Man, you fucking with that man's livelihood, and cause it's people out there saying, well, I don't know if I might want to do business with him.
Yeah.
Right.
You fucking with that man's livelihood.
Did Stephen A say that? If I'm not mistaken.
As you
Stephen
talk-
A. corny ass.
Yeah, before we
Yeah.
talk about Stephen A. What,
All right.
you from me watching you on your podcast and just in general, you definitely expressed your dislike for, I don't say dislike, but your
Disdain.
disapproval of Stephen A. Smith.
Disdain.
We ain't supposed to get
Oh,
there
we
yet.
yeah.
Wait, it's
All right.
We can go there. We go there.
What is your main issue with Stephen A. Smith?
He's a company man.
Okay.
And so, look, man, I don't believe Stephen A. can say what he want to say, but I don't believe that Stephen A. love black people. Let me tell you something, bro. I'm not one of those dudes who cut you off the moment you do something I don't like.
Right.
You know, if we friends, we cool. I'm not going to, if you do something that's inconsistent with principles or whatever, or what I value, I might call you and say, yo, whoa, I'm going to call you. I'm not going to social media and talk about it.
Right.
I got your phone number. I'm going to give you a call.
Yeah.
If I don't know you, it depends on what type of moves you've been making before you got out of pocket where people are saying that you did this or did that, or you're
Right.
being accused of this or that. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt if I've seen you consistently, you know, loving on our people.
Right.
I'll give you the benefit of doubt. I will only come for you if it turns out to be something pathological. Then I'm coming for you because I see now, oh, you're trying to undermine our plight in this country.
Right.
And so this is why I go so hard. I go so hard for black people because we're number one, public enemy number one in this country and in the world. And these people come for us every single day. They try everything that they can to hold us back. And this is why when I see somebody black make it, I don't care if they make it in hip hop, if they make it in the podcast world, as a teacher, you know, a professor, you know, an entrepreneur, a doctor, lawyer, scientist, whatever. I know that they went through a lot of shit to get to that point. They didn't go through the average shit. They went through some astronomical shit. So to me, you know, black people, when black people become successful, we superheroes.
Yeah.
Because the traps are out there for us not to be successful from the time we're born. They're targeting our babies right now. They don't want our babies to advance. They don't want our babies to be productive. They talk that slick shit about, oh, home, you know, black family, the nucleus is torn all up. Where's the black man? All that shit. For years, forever we've been there. But just recently, even Oprah starting to say, no, black men are the most involved fathers out of all races. They're the most involved fathers, you know, out of all these groups. It's just starting to come out. The data is starting to reflect what we've always known. We've always been there for our babies. Yeah. You know, collectively, of course, there's some deadbeat ass dudes out there, you know, but collectively, we've always been there for our babies. But they try to come for us, and the whole plan is to break us up, to turn us against each other. And this is why the people who play this black man, black woman hate game, all of them are some damn fools. I don't give a damn how cool you think you are, how many podcast subscribers you got. I don't care how many YouTube subscribers you got. I don't care how many degrees you got. You're a damn fool, because we need each other, and we ain't gonna make it without each other. We've lost a few wars. We've won a few wars. But one war we cannot win is a gender war. It's impossible. Yeah. If you are a black man and you say you love black people, and you love your black daughter, you love your black mama, you love your black sister, your auntie, your friend, how in the hell can you hate black women? How could you go in daily on black women and just talk about black women like a dog every single day and claim to love your daughter? Your daughter, you claiming to love something which she is to become, a woman. So you say, I love her, but I hate her. You making it harder for her to go out into the world, because you projected your disapproval of her or people that look like her to the world. If you're a black woman and you say you hate black men, but you got a black son, your ass is unqualified to raise that black son, because you hate that which he is to become. It makes absolutely no sense. But they think they're smart, and the little dummy ass followers that they have think they're smart also. But they're some of the biggest fools in the world, because if you look around, nobody else does this. Nobody participates in this foolishness but black folks.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Where does hip hop come into all this? You know, we're seeing now the rise of women in hip hop. You know, the women have always been there, but they have now sort of taken the front and center of the stage. And it almost sounds crazy. It feels like it's like, yeah, you know, scripted, you know, like yeah, let's do this now. Like someone said, let's do this now. And I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, we're not seeing the variety that I would expect in a full-blown woman movement in hip hop. Yeah. In my opinion.
It's always scripted, bro. Nothing is by happenstance. It's all by design. Yeah. So we know that the trickery is gonna always be there. We know. So anytime we see something, we should question it, and we should develop a plan to attack it. Develop a plan to make our people aware, so that we don't fall for the okie doke. If you look at the welfare system. They got us good, bro. They got us good with the welfare system. But it was all planned. It was planned. They would say, well, like, look, we'll give y'all some relief. This is right after the recession, the Great Depression. We'll give y'all some relief, but you got to get the man out of the house.
Yeah.
It's the no man house rule, right?
Yeah.
You got to get the man out of the house.
Right.
Now, that's the rule. That's the law.
Yeah.
We're going to enforce it with black women, but we're going to let these white women keep their man in the house. See, it's the same thing they do with laws. They make sure that the judges have the power. They say, this is the law. But the judge have the latitude to give a person relief. They don't have to necessarily judge.
Enforce it.
If the judge decides that they feel a little different about this person or this case, that could be an exception to the rule.
Right.
There's always an exception to the rule.
Right.
And the judge has the latitude to decide.
Yeah.
The judges have too much power.
Yeah.
And so this is why we continue to get smacked across the head, bro.
And that's actually how racism works. I would always tell people, like, you guys, sometimes they'll call a black person racist, or they'll say, something about black folks, and I'll be like, but that's not. That might be if you want to call that bigotry. Okay, cool. If I prefer a black situation over a white one, then cool. But that does not mean I'm racist because you guys have power. So that judge has power to just say, this family here, well, the dad is whatever, unemployed, whatever the case may be. Let them stay. And then they might enforce it differently with a black family.
Right.
You got a black man in the house, you can't have welfare. You know what I'm saying? So there's always a power dynamic that people don't understand. And that's how I feel about hip hop now. We don't have no power. So even to this day, the power is in the hands of like a chosen few. And the other side that I told somebody is some of them are black now.
That's true. And that's what I was alluding to earlier when I was talking about the Grammys and all of these top 50 this and hip hop 50th anniversary this. But I want to fall back a moment and cover something that you just mentioned, about, the welfare thing.
Okay.
I think it's important to remember that we had a choice. We actually had a choice. We could have said, no, fuck that. You want my man to get out of the house? You want me to leave my children and my wife? Get out of this house? Look, we know that homes that have fathers in them, perform better. The kids perform better, when they have a father, in the house and they're being raised by their father.
Yeah.
We know that.
Right.
And so I, knowing that, have to say to myself, I don't give a fuck how it go down. And that was some black man who did that. Some black man said, no, fuck that. I'm going to make it I'm going to pull a James Evans on y'all ass. I'm going to make it some kind of way.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it. I'm staying with my babies. I'm not going nowhere. We not, you know what? Fuck your welfare. That's what James said, and that's why I related to that character so much. That was a man's man. I was like, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up my babies for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, my daughter got out of line when she was about, I think she was like 15 years old or something like that. I punished her. And she walks around the house, in the following days, she walks around the house, puffy mouth, not speak, call herself not speaking.
Yeah.
So everywhere she went, she would go into the kitchen to get something. I'd go into the kitchen looking for something. She'd go sit down to watch television. I'd go sit right next to her.
Right.
And, she walk outside to go do something. I'll walk outside with her.
Yeah.
And I turn to her and I say, this is how the rest of your life gonna be. I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
You see? And that's how we gotta be. We can't get caught up in this whole thing where, kids, let's say when your kids, you break up with the mom and the kids aren't calling you, but you call all the time. You can't get caught up in that. Well, they never call me, you know, like I understand it. We're all human beings, you know, we have feelings and we want that love that we have to be reciprocated by actions. But we got to understand that we can't put ourselves on a child's level. We as parents, mothers and fathers, we don't have the luxury of behaving like a child at any point. We don't have the luxury of cutting off that communication with our babies. We got to learn how to communicate with them and understand that we are the adult. And so we have to adult at all times. We don't have the luxury of acting like a child on any given day.
Right.
My son, when he was 15, I was dropping him off at his mom's house. He was playing football. Dropped him off at his mom's house. But before that, I'm on the phone with him, and and I went to pick him up, and he wasn't where I told him to be. You know, well, he wasn't at the agreed pickup location.
Right.
Yeah, where you at? Oh, I walked over to the gym. And didn't I tell you before you leave the pickup spot to give me a call? Dad, I told you. I said, hold on. Who you think you're talking to? That I'm not raising my voice. You can ask sister. I go pick him up. We go eat like we normally do. We sit down, we talk. But I'm not talking as much as I normally talk. And I'm not as inquisitive about his day. So he can tell something is off. He knows. So I pull up to the house. I get out the car. I take my jacket off. He get out the car. He reaching to grab his equipment. I said, you ain't gonna put your hands up? And he looking at me like, I say, yeah, remember we was on the phone a little earlier and you was raising your voice? Yeah, I say, I feel like that, you know, you want to fight. You must want to fight me or something. So I know that when boys turn 15 years old, or get around high school age, they start sizing their dad up because they sizing up the boys at high school, and they looking at some boys who are bigger than them. My son is playing football. He running over dudes that's bigger than me. So he probably think he can have it. I said, you. And I told him, I said, you running over dudes that's bigger than me. I'm thinking, you know, you probably think you can handle me. And usually around this age, this is when boys want to try their daddy. So I figure like this is the day that you want to try me. So let's get it on out of the way. You ready? So you don't want to fight? No, sir. Okay, let me explain something to you. I'm the father. You're the son. If I start acting like the son, it ain't going to work. If you start acting like the father, it ain't going to work. We have a father-son relationship. As much as I love you, son, it would hurt me. It would dearly hurt me to hurt you. But I do it before I live like that. I'm not living a life like that where I have a disrespectful son.
Right.
I'm not doing that. And I broke it down to him and I said, I don't care if I'm in a wheelchair and I'm 90 years old. I'm never going to accept disrespect, ever. I'm telling you. And he's 24 years old. We never had a problem since.
Wow.
None of that since. And you got to nip that in the bud. And I told him, I said, man, I could see if I was a deadbeat, if I was a dude that didn't coach you, if I didn't teach you, I wouldn't counsel you, I wasn't a friend to you, I wasn't interested in your life, I didn't support you, I wasn't there for you every step of the way. I can see perhaps you being disrespectful to me. But I didn't earn that. That don't come with me.
Right.
And he got it. He understood it. But that was not, we didn't jump to that moment. He had to go back and I built that moment up. He just forgot it. He got beside himself. Like some kids do at times. They get beside themselves sometimes. So he just got beside himself and I just had to, you know, jerk him a little bit and put him back in line.
Let it be known that I did try my dad and
oh, did you?
Got thrashed. My dad was 6'2", 250. I don't know what I was thinking. He tore me up, man. It was quick and fast, too. Like, It was like one of them Richard Pryor joints.
Yeah, because because you're becoming a man and you're taking on a manly type of expressions, you know, and emotions, and you know, part of being a man is not having another man rule over you, and telling you what to do, bossing you around. You've been hearing this all your life, and now you starting to check other dudes about this. Hey, Daddy, you can get it too. You know? And Daddy, like, I brought you here.
I'll take you out. Yeah. The last time I had put my fist up, not up, but to the side. He said, "You better unball them fists." I was like,
boy like LeBron without the pop.
Right. Actually, I did it down here.
You played off like LeBron.
I was like, yeah, I don't want no smoke.
Yeah.
But nah, I feel you, definitely. And let it be known that you did have a song, Welfare Bitches, that was very educational.
Yeah.
I might add. Very educational.
We're going down this road now.
Yeah, definitely.
He has had quite a bit of titles that were controversial, if you will. Yeah. In fact, he had an album called Controversy.
Yeah.
1989.
1989. And you had some serious titles in there, like Fuck the KKK.
Man,
you had the KKK on the album cover. You know what I mean? You had a police officer on the album cover, and you had a lady, a female dressed with a bathing suit, if you will.
Bald head hose.
Bald head hose. Now, this is one particular song, just in general, I want to speak about. It's called "I'm Not a Gentleman." You know this record?
Yeah, I think I.
You remember that record?
I know what
I think so.
You know this record?
Yeah.
So this record, right? So when it comes on, there's this song. It goes, "Ooh, ladies first," and then the needle goes, "Ooh," and then you go, "Ladies first." Who the fuck thought of that shit? 9 times out of 10, it was a bitch.
Yeah.
You wasn't gonna get. We were saying it earlier. We was having a lot of fun earlier, but now I'm gonna let you say it.
Well, I said it because that's the song. That's the song lyrics.
Yeah, it's the lyrics.
That's the lyrics. Why did you do a record like that?
Because the woman that I was dating at the time told me to.
Really? Oh, this is about. Okay, see, now we're getting somewhere.
Oh shoot!
So this was about.
She told me to. She said, "Oh, I didn't open the door for her."
Oh,
and
okay.
She said, "You need to do a song called 'I'm Not a Gentleman.'" And I said, "Ding, ding, ding." And all I did with that song is that I exaggerated. I took the most like disrespectful thing that a guy could do, like the most anti-chivalrous thing a guy could do, and I just put it in a song. So I just talk about what's all of the anti-chivalry things out there,
right.
And I just spoke on it. Now, you know, if anybody took that song like word for word,
I don't know, man.
Like you should not have done that. Some of that should have been obvious tongue in cheek.
Right. Well, let me address the elephant in the room. The song you played that you scratched out was Queen Latifah.
Right.
Now I don't know if at that time did you have a relationship with Queen Latifah? Did you know who she was?
I knew who she was.
Okay.
But look, it wasn't my choice to use that sample. It was Ready Red's choice.
Oh, don't put it Ready Red.
Ready Red, man. Come on, Ready.
R.I.P. Ready Red.
R.I.P. Ready Red.
The irreplaceable Ready Red, the man who's responsible for giving the Geto Boys a sound.
Right.
Ready Red did that, and I remember being on the road. We actually toured with Queen Latifah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how does this work now?
It was us, Queen Latifah, Public Enemy, Naughty by Nature,
was the EPMD on that tour?
New School.
That wasn't on that tour?
Leaders of the New School. I know I'm missing a few people. Kid and Play.
Okay. Dope hip hop.
A few other people. And we did an extensive tour. Mm-hmm. In fact, they call it the last great hip hop tour. Okay. You can look it up. But Queen Latifah, somebody came to me and told me, I think it was somebody that was in Queen Latifah's camp.
Okay.
Hey, Queen Latifah want to talk to me. So I was like, hey, where's she at?
Okay.
So I go up to this, it wasn't a suite. It was like this reception room that it was like, I think it was like some food or something up in there. It was just one of those spaces in the hotel. We were staying at the same hotel. So I went over there. She's like, yeah, what's up with that song?
Wait, you knew what she wanted.
Please.
Yeah. I know what she wanted. She was like, yeah, what's up with that song? I said, it wasn't nothing personal, Queen. It wasn't nothing personal. And she, we kind of laughed it off, but
Right.
and shouts out to Queen Latifah. She held it down for a long time, and she's still holding it down.
Right.
Yeah.
No, she was a good sport because at that point you could have been accused of being a womanizer because you had a lot of songs, bald-headed hoes.
But let me say this: when you play the song, it sounds like I'm saying 9 times out of 10 it was a bitch, and I'm talking about Queen Latifah.
Right.
But I was speaking overall about the actual phrase "lady" first.
Right.
And that's why because even when I talked about and I said, I'm tired of this ladies' night shit. When it's the brothers that's making these motherfucking clubs rich.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Why does the ladies get a free night when the brothers are paying all the bills?
Right.
We the ones buying all the drinks.
All the drinks.
We're the ones that's paying for the women to come in the club. That should be a man's night.
It should be, right? We need a man's
show the
night.
ladies some love. The ladies deserve love.
Right.
But come on, man, show the brothers a little love too.
Right. Man. I just wanted you to clean it up for the audience. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, they don't know. They're like, "Oh, this guy's a womanizer. He disrespects women. He doesn't care." Da 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 da. But I knew that it wasn't the case. I just wanted you to speak on.
Who influenced you, by the way? I'm
gonna say Richard Pryor. I'm just gonna.
I was thinking of Red Fox, Richard Pryor. I was even thinking Millie Jackson in the back of my head. But I don't want to put words in your mouth. Like when you were writing those early records.
My mama.
Your mama. Yeah.
My mama could cuss. I'd cuss anybody. And a lot of the things that I said, it was just stuff that I took. And the trip part about it is that I had a traumatic childhood for the most part. And my mama was very brutal at times.
Okay.
But some of the shit she would say was just hilarious when I think back about it. I remember one time we were at my house. My best friend lived a couple of doors down from me. And we were all at their house watching television. And I asked my mom, I said, we called my mom a sister. I said, "Sister, can I cook an egg? Can I cook an egg?" She said, "Yeah, but you better not eat that motherfucker." So my mom was funny as hell, man. Like some of the stuff that she said was just funny as hell, So I took a lot of that, man, and I always thought that I always liked comedy. Like some of my best friends are comedians.
Yeah.
And I'm talking top tier comedians. So I've always loved comedy. Yeah. But at the same time, I've always been very serious about, life. Yeah. Yeah. And so I don't know. I just figured out a way to really, really balance that. And I would not shoot the does. Like certain things I wouldn't participate in. Right. So I never shot the does because if you shoot the does, I've seen people shoot the does and then on a different day they feel in a different way, and now it's a fight and somebody end up dead. Yeah,
that's homie don't play that.
Yeah, you spoke. That's homie don't play that.
That's about playing them home games.
That song, a lot of those songs I wrote right after the experience.
Right. Oh, okay.
Okay. Like in the first album, the first album, even when I wrote Ballhead Hoes,
that was hilarious.
I went to the club one night, and this is when women started wearing wigs and weave. This is when they just had started in the clubs, young women wearing weave. Yeah. So we talking, it was very small percentage. We're talking about you might see 3 or 4 chicks, wearing weave, obvious weave, in a club where there's 500 women. Right. So, but you would see it in other places and stuff, and then I'm like, okay, I ain't liking this, so I'm gonna make this song called Ballhead Hoes, and I'm gonna discourage them by just trying to embarrass them. So I'm thinking, I'm finna start a movement. I'm thinking, this is how arrogant artists can be. Like, I'm thinking, I'm gonna write this song, and I'm just gonna say all the disparaging shit. I'm just gonna shame them into not wanting to wear weave. Right. And it's like they heard it, and they was like, "Nigga, fuck you." Right. Stitch me out, baby. Right. It's like they didn't give a damn. It's like they just started it's like I poured gasoline on the fire.
Right. Wow.
You know what's crazy? This is why I fuck with the Ghetto Boys. It's just in general, just like like song titles, like let's take for today. Like a lot of people, they don't make records about the oppressor. They're just making records about killing each other.
Okay, let's talk about
you know
it.
what I mean?
Spending money.
It's spending money. You guys are fuck the KKK, the bad cop, fuck. Like you went in.
City Under Siege.
Right, you went in.
Yeah.
Fuck one of my favorite records, hands down. Fuck a War.
Yeah, I wrote
that record right there. You wrote that. That was
yeah.
So
that was crazy.
So that song, I wrote that song when I was watching the news. This is during Desert Storm.
Yeah, Desert Storm.
1992. I'm watching the news, and they're talking about reinstating the draft. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, where the fuck am I high? Because I ain't going to war.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to war for a shit-talking president. These motherfuckers got a beef.
Right.
These motherfuckers got a beef. What does it look like? These motherfuckers starting the one. Now, y'all go get them.
Right.
Fuck that. So I was like, fuck a war.
Right.
Right then and there, I wrote the song. It took me about 30 minutes to write it. And I thought about it. I was like, you know, I'm going to give it to Bill because Bill needed a solo song for the album.
Right.
Because we always like to showcase the solo skills of each of us on our album. So we'll do our collective songs, and then we'll make sure that everybody do a solo song.
Right.
Same thing that I did with Bill on the last album. We had a song called Dirty Bitch.
Right.
And I was like, that song was the last song on the album, and it was the last song to be recorded for the album, because after we finished the album, I'm sitting around in the studio and I'm listening to it. And I'm like, we really don't have a song about the women or for the women.
Right.
You know, we don't have no song like that for this album. And I know some people say, how is that for the women? Some women like that song. They really do. Just like Bald Head Hoes. I'll tell you about Bald Head Hoes later. But I was like, okay, I need a song. We need a song, and I need to write this song for Bill. I talked to Mike Dean. Mike, give me something to write to. Mike, get me a beat. I go to the car, go back in, and Bill's, I think he was married to her, Cindy. She's in the studio with Bill. And I tell Bill, I say, look, man, we need an intro to this song. I need y'all to have an argument in the very beginning.
Right.
So I need you, Cindy, to argue with him like y'all would if y'all were in a real argument.
Right.
Because they used to have some knockout, drag-out arguments. They flooded the hotel in New York once.
Wow.
In Manhattan. You know, like I flooded it.
On purpose.
I don't know if I wasn't in there, but I know they flooded it.
Right.
Right.
I know we had to evacuate the floor.
Just water.
They flooded the whole floor, man.
The whole floor.
So anyway, I'm like, look, I need you to do this skit. I need you to act like you're mad at him, and I need you to come over to the house, and try to to get at her after she talks shit to you on the phone.
Right.
Because you know how women be like, oh, well, fuck you, motherfucker, well, fuck you, bitch, So people be talking shit on the phone. So like, I need you to talk a lot of shit, and Bill, I need you to pop up at her house.
Right.
So at first she started talking, and she was being very like cautionary with it. I mean, she's been very cautious with it. She was like and timid.
Right.
She's like, she was talking like, yeah, fuck you, and I don't want to be with you. And then I said, no.
Yeah, that's the same.
I said, no, I need you to say that shit like you normally say it when y'all be going at it. And I need you to call him a one-eyed motherfucker and da-da-da-da. Say the most, because that's what we do. We say the most harmful shit we can say to each other when we're mad at each other. Right. And that's what they used to do.
Yeah.
I heard it with my own eyes. I seen it.
Respectfully, is this the person,
I heard it
how he got his eye shot out? Was that the
No,
that was after that?
Totally different.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different woman. But I know I heard them argue. You know what I'm saying? I seen them argue, and they could go there.
Yeah.
And I said, I need you to go there. Man, that girl started talking that shit. And you can go back and hear Dirty Bitch. You can listen to it, and she went in.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what. And let me back up. Bill had to persuade her to go ahead and let her know it was okay. And Bill was like, just listen to Will. He knows what he's talking about. You know, he knows what he's talking about. Just listen to him, and everything will be all right.
Yeah.
You just do it. And she did it. And knocked it out the park.
That's just like, yeah, that was a raw record.
Yeah.
Raw record.
They had a lot of raw moments on those,
moments.
albums. Even like when he mentioned the skits. Even there's a skit on the Fuck a War song where she's calling like she's a recruiter, and they telling Bill they want to recruit him for the army, and he's like, yeah. All that shit was like it's art. It was a masterpiece. That song is a masterpiece.
Yeah, definitely.
Even down to the line. Obviously, you wrote it when he says, "I ain't get my old ass old ass shot off Bush old ass on TV playing golf." Like shit, how you was painting the
I ain't
picture.
get my leg
shot off by
Bush old ass
on TV playing golf. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was a lot of shit you was saying in that. Like, POWs got hung, Vietnam, niggas died young.
Yeah.
He was saying some shit.
I know.
You know what I mean? And that was, to me, that's one of my favorite songs from you.
Man, you almost had me getting a Chevy Blazer. He said, I got an arsenal in my Blazer, for instance. She's gonna shake the ground for kid get distance. I was like, yo, get me a Chevy Blazer. I'm loading up the back of it. We going in. Yeah, it was crazy. So look, talking about raw moments. So let's talk about Coons.
Yeah.
Coons.
Let's talk about Coons. So you had two records. Coon 1 and Coon 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
You named a lot of people. Now, before we talk about Coons in general, let's just discuss who was mentioned. Charles Barkley, Stephen A., Don Lemon, Michael Jordan.
He's like, I said that?
Stacey Dash, Raven Simone,
Right.
Ben Carson, Creflo Trash Dollar, and Ted Cruz. Some others might have.
Now, before he answers that, let's define, by your definition, what is a coon?
When your criticism of your community outweigh your contribution, you're
Okay, that is a coon. Got you. Not necessarily just saying somebody's a coon for the sake of saying they're a coon.
Some of them, like Barkley, over the last few years, think he's slick. He started giving money to black people, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people have to understand that just because you give money to someone doesn't mean that you care about them. I mean, the government gives black folks billions of dollars a year, and you know how they feel about us.
Right.
You know, I mean, they've made it very, very clear. A pimp will buy a woman a dress and put on some nice heels and earrings and get her hair all done up, makeup all done up, and put out there on the whole stroll to sell her body. So just because somebody gives you money or does something nice for you doesn't mean that they care about you.
Right.
And we get confused with that a lot. We see somebody gives them, well, what have you done? Well, what you doing? See, a lot of times people give you money to suppress you. They give you money to oppress you. They give you money to shut you up. They give you money so that they can control you. A lot of times, that's why people do that, because they understand that you have people out there that will do anything for money.
Right.
Like, and when you're that type of person, people like that, they scare me. Well, what are you doing with money? You know, money. Look, man, I get some money. I like money too. I'm not in love with money, but I get money, and I understand. But I get money because I understand the importance of money, and I use money as a tool. I don't use money to control people or floss and all that dumb shit. You know, I understand that the more money I have, the more I can help, and because people. You can talk all that shit about helping or whatever and what's right and what's wrong, but you ain't got no money. Ain't nobody gonna listen to you. Right. And you can't move the needle. You can't get nothing done without it. Yeah. So I go get money for those purposes.
Right.
And I get as much as I can.
Right.
But if you don't know what you will do for money, you better know what you won't do for money.
Yeah.
And a lot of people haven't had that conversation with themselves.
Right.
Because when you have a dude, you have some dudes, and you can ask some dudes, they'd be like, yeah, would you do this for $1 million? No. Well, what about $5 million? Nah, man. What if they gave you $100 million? Motherfucker, hesitate. See, people like that,
Right.
and I'm specifically talking about men right now. Because a lot of dudes be playing this game about, man, you messing with that man money. Man just getting his money. Yeah, so he can pretty much say what he want to say, as long as he's getting money. So in your mind, symbolism is more important than activation. You know, our activism, symbolism, right? So, if that's the case, that means that you'll suck a dick. If motherfuckers use money for the right price, some of these dudes will suck dick. That's what they really trying to tell you. Any dude that talk like that, mess with that man money. That money, man. That man money. Yeah.
That's a song right there. That man money. Come on, let's get in the studio. Let's record.
Yeah. When they start talking like that and what you gonna do for money, what you'll do for money, and you know this price, and people that got a price, they'll suck a dick, bro.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. You got to know what you want.
That sounds like, because you're contemplating, you know. Like,
because I'm going to tell you, bro, I could have got to the money a whole lot sooner. A whole lot sooner had I just went along. Because if I would have just went along, I could have got to the money a whole lot sooner. But it's just something about, like, living this life as a sucker. I just don't want to be.
Now, from your experience, what is went along? Is that gay shit? Is that doing stuff that's what you like? Because a lot of people associate that with for your man doing some gay shit.
It might be, but because it will be if you take money and allow a person to do something scandalous, but you just look the other way,
right?
Because you're getting paid. You know, it ain't necessarily got to be gay shit, but the gay thing is a big thing in the industry. I've never been overtly pressed or pursued or targeted by anybody on some homosexuality shit. And primarily because they know who to fuck with.
They know who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. The way you carry yourself, it's obvious. I'm not going to try that with him.
Right. But if you suspect, you know, they know. What they call it, a gaydar. Them dudes got gaydars.
Right.
They know, and they will try you.
Now, have you ever came across anybody that you thought was solid and you realized it wasn't?
Yeah. It's a few. Like, it's a few of them.
Right.
You know, like you be like, damn, bro. Like, but you just keep it moving. Ain't my business.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What about the? I don't want to put a name to it, but what about, you know, those upper echelons where they say, you know, you got to do a sacrifice and things of that nature? Have you ever encountered anything like that?
No, because the sacrifice would have been the person trying to sacrifice me. I would have killed the motherfucker right on the spot. I ain't got no problem killing. You know, like there's a time to kill. You remember that movie?
Yeah.
You know, like, so anybody got a problem with what I just said, remember that movie.
Yeah.
There's a time to kill. And look, bro, I'm old school, bro. So manhood is everything to me. Like everything that I do start with my manhood. You know, and manhood is not domineering. Manhood is not you know, specifically aggressive. You know, it's not being violent. You know, it's standing on something. You know, it's standing on something. And I'm going to stand on it. And I'll go against, say, man, I got a mentality. My mentality is whatever you can do to me, I can do to you. That's my mentality. So, and I don't care who you are. I don't care what your status is. I don't care what your stature is. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care how many hitters you got. Whatever you can do to me, I can do to you. And that's without a nickel in my pocket.
Speaking on that, slavery, DeSantis, we're talking about rolling back slavery's definition and changing it and erasing it and reworking history. How do you feel about that? Like, you know,
it just goes to show you, bro, like evil runs this country. The evil people are at the top, you know, and this country is a hoe that's pretending to be a lady. You know, like it's just, you say one thing, but over here you're doing the other thing and everybody see it. They ain't even trying to hide it anymore. They're just putting it right in your face and we just going along. We just dealing with it.
Yeah.
So DeSantis is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
You know, he's a horrible person. He's a horrible person, and his constituents are horrible people.
Yeah.
You know, and I would say about at least half of the people in this country are horrible, horrible people.
At least.
And and that, you know, even during slavery, all their asses were horrible.
Yeah.
You know, them and everybody who allowed it, because silence is consent. And even if you didn't own a slave, if you knew that shit was going on and you looked the other way, horrible person, man. Just a lot of horrible people. And this is why it's important for us to teach our own children our history. So the Jewish history typically is not taught in most schools. They teach their own history. We need to teach our own history. And we should have been teaching our own history, because even though they so-called took it all the way out of the schools, our history has never really been told anyway. So we should, it's incumbent upon us to teach our history. I mean, we're the greatest benefactors of our history. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should teach our own history. And you know, we got, it's sad that we have to take up the slack, but we have no choice for those parents who fall short of parenthood. We got to help them out.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad that we have to, but we have to, because our children, our grandchildren, you know, our relatives and friends, they're going to commingle with these kids who don't get it right at home.
Yeah,
they're going to be at a party with this kid who may not have any direction, that's unlearned. Who may decide he want to take out a gun and just shoot in the crowd and kill somebody, kill an innocent person. But imagine if that kid had the right information and he was taught to love himself and to love the people around him and start responsibility, being held accountable for his actions, and he understood that there's a better life than the life that he's living. Then perhaps he would have pulled that gun out.
Right. Put the gun away. Put the gun away.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite joints too. You got a lot of joints, Willie D, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. We gotta figure it out. Now, AllHipHop is working on that. We're working on something in hip hop that's not specific to Hip Hop 50, but it is a legacy destination within the site. We're gonna break it off so that we can properly give attention to the people like yourself and others, man. But you've been blessed to stay current, and I give you a lot of respect for that. You know, you have your podcast, you have your, you know, the YouTubes that are a lot very popular too. You have business that you're working on and other things. Now you have something for the men. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. We have a testosterone shots that we have called Peak Enhancements. P-E-A-K, the letter N, enhancement.
Okay. Peak
Enhancement. You can go to peakenhancement.com.
Okay.
Right? And get these testosterone shots. I'm part owner of a telemed company.
Okay.
Called Be Well Telemed.
Okay.
And our mission is to make healthcare accessible to low-income and underserved communities.
Okay.
Well, it's also available for other people, but that's our focus.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Are you still involved with cryptocurrencies?
Absolutely. Boy, I can't wait.
Because listen, my man Wonder here said because of you, he went and bought like 1 billion Satama coins or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think we saw at one point you were like an advocate for that coin. Are you still involved with them, or what's going on with that?
I'm not. Okay. But here's the thing, like, what people have to understand about cryptocurrency, I don't care what the coin is, all coins go up and down. Right. The key is to get in at the right time and make sure you get out at the right time.
Yeah, that's what
and there's only been one Bitcoin, but there have been some other coins that have been able to sustain over time. Right. Like XRP and Cardano. Coins like that. Even Dogecoin. I was an early investor in Dogecoin.
Right.
I bought Dogecoin when it was not. Right. Yeah, I'm talking about well before it caught on with everybody else, well before Elon Musk ever endorsed it.
Did you see how it went to 75 cents and then dropped?
Yeah.
So it's like, 6 cents now? It's like 100% drop?
But guess what? people see Dogecoin is still around. It has a larger market cap.
Right.
I think it's 2 billion, something like that. And Saitama's market cap is somewhere around 200 million, something like that.
Right, right.
So it's still money in there. It's still people in there holding, right?
Right.
The thing is that all of these coins go up and down.
Up and down.
Up and down, up and down. You just gotta know. Like I remember, like when I was promoting the coin was going up, 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 up. People was getting in, it was going up, 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 up. You gotta know when to pull the trigger.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just gotta know when to pull the trigger. And I think that's why it was important for me to actually tell people. I was very candid with people because I don't believe in, people. I don't believe in promoting anything that I don't believe in.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I tell people about crypto just like with anything else. Do not invest anything that you're not willing to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's number one rule.
That's the number one rule with investing. Do not invest anything that you're not willing to lose. And I said, I'm telling y'all what I'm doing. If you want to do this, this fine. But I'm telling you what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If you lose your money, don't tell me shit. Do not come to me.
Right.
Don't be talking no shit to me or whatever I did this, because I ain't giving you shit. If you lose your money, I ain't giving you shit. I'm not giving you shit, because if you win, you're not giving me shit.
Right.
That's a
You know,
fact.
think about that.
So you're right.
Think
That's
about that.
another way to flip it.
I'm the type of person that can take my bitter with my sweet.
Right.
I can take my bitter with my sweet.
Yeah.
I've lost money in cryptocurrency, but I've won a lot more than I've lost.
Right.
And the thing is that I've seen a lot of people lose money. I've seen a lot of people make money.
Right.
Just like with everything, the key is to get in. Get in at the right time.
Get out.
And get out at the right time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not to get in at all.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So, people have to do their homework like I did.
Right.
I studied it. I watched a bunch of videos. I talked to people. I did my research.
Right.
And that's what I do to this day. And then I pull the trigger. I got a lot of crypto right now that right to this day, I got a whole lot of crypto. And I still got some Saitama.
So you got Shiba?
I don't have sheep.
You got Shiba?
I don't have. I never invested in sheep.
Never did? Okay.
But I got I got Bitcoin, everything. I got a lot of crypto.
Okay.
And it's down right now.
Very down.
But this is what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm over here like Birdman.
Because it's down, you buy.
Because when this is,
right.
and I've been buying
buy.
while it's
Right.
down.
While it's
See,
down.
That's when you're supposed to buy.
That's when you're supposed to buy.
But it's very difficult to make your brain
It's very.
move that way. Because the human nature is this shit going down. I ain't fucking with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's human nature.
Right.
That's a fact.
But the nature of an investor, I am a long time investor.
Right.
So my nature is when I see it go down, I see opportunity.
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to buy.
That's actually when you're
I'm looking
supposed to
around,
buy.
I'm buying.
Right.
My brain is just automatically set to buy when the market is down.
Right.
I buy. Same thing with the stock market. I buy. Real estate, I buy. When it's down, I buy. That's what I do.
Right.
And when it's up and everybody's all excited, I'm starting to look like, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me count my stuff. Let me back up a little bit. Let me
Right.
make sure I'm making a move. If I do something, pull the trigger on something, let me make sure. Because when everybody's on it and everybody's excited,
Right.
hey man, the storm is coming.
Right.
The storm is on the way.
That's what happened with Coinbase. It was at 75 cents. That shit dropped. Everybody thought it was going to go to $1 once Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live and mentioned it, which he did, but for whatever reason, that shit plummeted.
Yeah, well, I think Coinbase would be all right because Coinbase is still the top U.S. Crypto trading site.
Right.
And I use Coinbase.
You use Robinhood?
I use Coinbase every day.
Okay.
I use Robinhood sparingly.
Okay.
Let me ask you, switching gears a little bit. What's up with the podcast, the Geto Boys podcast? You and Face ain't been on there for a minute. How y'all looking, man? What, man? Come on, man. What? Come on, man. I have to ask, yo. I'm looking.
That's an album cover look he gave me.
That's that James Evans look, yo.
No, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, we just agreed to let me finish out this season, these episodes, and we'll take a look at where we are after that.
Yeah,
that's where we are with it.
Now did you not being because I addressed the elephant in the room.
The answer is yes. Go ahead.
Say it again.
The answer is yes.
The answer is yes. That was the reason why you're not doing it.
Well, ask the question so the people know.
Let me ask the question. You not doing that? You not being included on that hip hop show of
the award show.
The award show, was that the trigger for the dismemberment of that show?
Yeah.
I feel you. I felt you should have been there. This is just my opinion. This is how I feel. Regardless if you felt like that or not.
And I appreciate that there, because I'm gonna tell you something, bro. It's easy for people on the outside who are just fans and who can watch the Grammys, be entertained, and then go to sleep.
Right.
And don't even think about the Grammys the next day.
Right.
Just be gone with their life. Right.
Right.
And let me be clear. I don't give a fuck about the Grammys. It ain't about the Grammys.
Right.
It's really not about the Grammys.
Right.
It's about the platform
and the inclusion.
It's about the platform, and it's the principle. Right. It's the principle of having no matter what we think about the Grammys, what I think about the Grammys, no matter what I think about the Grammys still is the pinnacle of award shows for the music industry.
Right.
It is the biggest platform for the music industry.
Right.
Right. So when Geto Boys have an opportunity to perform at the Grammys and only one half performs and makes the decision to do it all by himself, then I got to take exception to that, especially when I'm the other half.
Right.
And I can see if, Brad would have made that music by himself.
Right,
he wrote all that shit by himself.
But he didn't.
Cool.
Right.
But I had a heavy hand in that shit.
Right.
And I also I'm responsible for that fucking record being as big as it was.
Right.
So I'm partially responsible for that record being as big as it was.
Right.
So it was a major slap in the face.
Right.
For all these people that's running their mouth and saying, get over it and da-da-da, and, but it was still a good look. Fuck you.
Right.
Real talk. Fuck you in your ass. Now, because I'm going to tell you something, bro. You ain't spent nights in the studio bumping heads. You ain't had to put your life on pause to make this music.
Right.
You ain't had to go on tour and be confronted by redneck police officers, get the bus pulled over on some 1960s type shit.
Definitely touching on that.
You ain't have to fight for an entire music genre to be able to speak their mind and say what they want to say.
Right.
You ain't have to fight for that. You didn't get persecuted for that.
Right.
You didn't get in that 15-passenger van and go city to city.
Right.
With 6-7 other dudes, with the luggage in the back.
Right.
Yeah. You ain't do none of that shit. You ain't write none of them songs.
Right. Yeah.
You ain't do none of that shit.
Right.
So you ain't got nothing invested in it like that. You ain't invested in it like that.
Yeah. Right.
So it's easy for you to just drop your little shitty ass opinion and talk down and move around. That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, who put the work in, and others like me who put the work in, who did not get an opportunity to stand on that stage and be recognized for the music that they helped build.
Right.
The industry. Right. Hey man, hip hop sustained the music industry. You can say what you want to say about hip hop.
That's true.
Right.
But hip hop is the number one genre of music.
Right. Let me cut in real quick. I'll do you one even better. And it's speaking from a New York perspective of being here. Everybody that's in the South right now that's doing music and able to come to New York, and perform. There was a time when people from New York wasn't trying to hear nobody
That's
from
right.
the South.
Yeah.
That's right.
There was a time. You guys broke down the gates for that. You, Master P, Luke, Outkast. I'm firsthand remember hearing Ghetto Boys mind playing tricks on me.
Yeah.
Kid Capri was playing that. You
Yeah.
know, before no one knew who that was. You know what I mean? So you guys testament to, people should give you your flowers.
Man,
you know,
man, coming to New York was like
let's speak on that
coming to
because
New
a lot
York.
of people don't understand.
But wait. Let me wait. Bruh. You my brother.
Right.
Face is my brother too.
Yeah.
Facebook friends and everything.
Face my
Is
brother
there
too.
any where can we
Oh yeah,
figure this out?
Yeah, but perhaps
Because
they're not beefing. They
It's-
just have a disagreement.
No. We talking 50 years of hip hop.
Right.
We talking 35, maybe 35 years of the Ghetto Boys. something
87,
like that.
86, 87 first album. 87.
years.
Yeah, 34 years.
34. Y'all are as good as any group. And I'm talking Wu-Tang, talking
I agree.
NWA, talking,
NWA.
I'm talking Run DMC,
EPMD.
EP, yep, right there.
Right there with him.
We got to see y'all on stage. Respectfully, I love Big Daddy Kane. That's my man. I love Big Daddy Kane. I done seen Kane like 20 times this year. I love Kane. Don't get me confused at all. Yeah, that's my boy. I want to see y'all on the stage, man.
I want to see us on the stage, but it ain't it ain't that easy. And it ain't about no getting in the feelings and shit like that, man. It's about the principle. So I move on principle.
Okay.
So that's what it's about.
All right, man. Well, I'm gonna pray for that.
So hold on. So
All
it
right,
wasn't.
so I'm sorry. I ain't
No, not that. So
Yeah.
back, no, to your
Yeah.
stay on your point. We'll harp on it for a minute. So it wasn't to a point where he would say, you know what? I apologize. You should have been there. Can that?
That's all you
can,
did.
can-
No, he said that, but he said it in a condescending manner, and it wasn't sincere.
That was the
Right.
on-camera moment.
Okay.
But I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. Even if he had, I still wouldn't have accepted it because I knew that it was intentional. I knew
It was intentional.
So I don't accept it when it's
Right.
intentional.
So with that being said, what can fix this? Time.
I don't know right now. Time is a good start.
Right. Because when this happens, let me tell you what happens when an artist takes. And this is obviously not an intentional hiatus. When you take hiatuses like this, you have people that grow up that don't know anything, and when you decide to come out, they don't have any clue who you are anymore because so much time has gone by, and they're into other things and other artists now,
Yeah.
and they don't even care anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Like I've seen this happen.
It
You
happens.
take these hiatuses, and you think you can come back, and you really can't.
It's tough. It's tough to come back.
It's tough to come back.
It's tough to come back.
from
That's
that,
why a
you
lot
know?
of people do tour so much.
That's why people stay on tour. It's tough.
Well, I hope that works out, man. I'm just say that, cause I mean, Ghetto Boys is dope.
Come on, it's Ghetto Boys, man.
I closed the rings on my Apple Watch last night, just rocking to the Ghetto Boys. My watch said, "Do you want to log or run?"
Right.
I was like, "Oh shoot, okay, yeah, let's log it. I'm gonna keep rocking."
I'll do you one even better. This and big up Texas, man. Shout out to Texas.
Shout out to Texas.
Shout out Texas in general, because I'm gonna share
That's a
something
fact.
with a lot of people that they don't realize. There was a DJ from Texas, Houston, Texas. He literally shaped the '90s sound of New York with his production. Do we know who that is?
Who is it?
DJ Premier.
Yeah.
DJ Premier is from Houston,
That's
Texas.
true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But shout out to all the Rap-A-Lot rappers, man, by the way, because I was into the whole thing. I was into Gangsta Nip, the whole South Park Coalition, the terrorists. I mean,
Yeah.
all them dudes. All them dudes. They had one was blind. What was the name?
Who that? From who?
Devin the dude.
All right.
Why wasn't you on Bring It On? How about that? Remember that record? There was a 10.
I had left rap a lot at that time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was doing my own.
Right.
Oh,
I came back like maybe a year or two later.
okay. There's a 10-minute posse cut called Bring It On. It's,
I know that, okay.
I know that word,
Right.
word for word. Word for word.
Right.
Word for word.
And
You know, when we first came to New York, we got booed.
yeah, see, now we got.
Yeah, so let's talk about
Now we got to go there.
everybody knows hip hop. Excuse me. Everybody knows New Yorkers where it began, but so let's let the ego shit in.
Yeah. And
So-
when we came in, coming to New York to play was like playing in front of your mama and your dad. You know, it's like we respected New York so much.
Yeah.
Like we respected the rappers from New York. We grew up on the hip hop from New York.
Right.
So we respected y'all. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like performing in front of our parents.
Yeah.
Right,
you
right.
know? But having your parents throw tomatoes at you.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like
Right.
we was like
Now,
on the stage. Yeah.
let's get specific real quick. Where were y'all performing? Was it the Apollo? Was it
were at the
Palladium?
Palladium.
Palladium. Ooh, and you like how I know that, right?
Yeah.
I know
At the
this.
Palladium.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
And it was reporters everywhere.
Oh.
Like, cause we had the song "Mind of a Lunatic."
Mm-hmm.
"Mind of a Lunatic" was getting a lot of press, international press,
Right.
and so they were calling us misogynists. They were calling us
Just said that.
yeah. They were calling us racist.
Oh my God.
all kinds of stuff, and
Right.
the song had a lot of that stuff in it. But the song was being performed from a third person, but they looked at it like, yeah, y'all shouldn't be performing this.
I don't know, Willie D. You put your whole government birthday in that song.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
but the part that they're talking about, that
Okay.
part what Bill was talking about primarily, was a third
God,
person.
yeah,
Bill was talking about.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, he was talking about.
Now, who wrote that verse? Was that Gangsta Nip?
No. That verse, I think. I ain't gonna say it. I can't remember exactly who wrote that song.
Okay.
Because that was one of the songs that was written before Bill joined the group.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Some of the members quit, too, over the content of that, right?
I can't really remember. I
Okay,
can't
okay.
remember.
All
But
right.
anyway, we get on stage and we doing our thing, and I'm talking about from the time they announced Geto Boys. Boom!
Like the-
Right out the rip.
Right.
Boom, 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 boom.
That's what
So
I'm saying. Crazy.
we still performing. And by like the third song, we doing like, we got like a 20-minute set. So about the third song, we hitting it like this. So about the third song, Brad said, Brad, we crossing, you cross on the stage and talking to each other. Brad's like, hey, you ready to get out of here? I said, fuck this shit, we doing the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do the whole thing. I'm like, I ain't come all the way to motherfucking New York to fucking quit.
Right.
We gonna do the whole fucking
Right.
show.
As you should.
So we keep on, we getting booed. These motherfuckers booed us so long that they started booing us in shifts. It was like, these motherfuckers here with booed.
That's fine. Oh, you're done?
You know, man, they started
Go
booing.
take a break.
I saw one dude take a boo break. That motherfucker was over there doing like this. Like, it was a big dude. It was a big black dude, man. He was right up in the front. He was like booing us. He was doing like this. These motherfuckers. It's like they was getting mad at us that we wouldn't just walk off the stage. Like, how y'all gonna just stay on the goddamn stage and we booing y'all like this? Look, bro, they booed. It was like a boo recital.
Right.
Right.
These motherfuckers was born, bro. Like, so, and I was like,
man.
look, so we get right to the end of the set.
Oh,
we
man.
get right to the end. We get to the end. Oh, and let me say this. It was two chicks in the front.
Right.
Black girls. Pretty.
Right.
Nice looking. They were right in the front, singing every word to every song. Found out later they was from Houston.
Right.
Okay.
So we get to the end, and I say, yeah, I know y'all don't fuck with us, but I know somebody y'all do fuck with. Trouble T. Roy. This was right after Trouble T. Roy had died accidentally.
Right.
You know, that was
Something
Heavy
serious,
D's,
yeah,
Heavy D's dancer, right? So I was like, yeah, but I know somebody who y'all do fuck with, because we used to say, we used to do this little spiel at the end of all shows because that was our way of showing tribute and homage, paying homage. We would, give Trouble T. Roy a shout out.
Right.
So on this particular night, I said, yeah, I know somebody who y'all do fuck with, Trouble T. Roy. So at the count of 1, 2, 3, I need everybody to repeat after me and say Trouble T. Roy. 1, 2, 3. They said, Trouble T. Roy. I said, yeah, motherfuckers, we'll be back, slammed the mic, and walked off stage. and 1 year later, Madison Square Garden,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun.
I knew he was going to come back, but I didn't know it was going to be that fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
we turned it around and we won them over.
Right.
And we won their respect.
Right.
Because like you said, y'all didn't give a damn. Anything outside of New York
it wasn't.
Y'all
It
was
wasn't
not
flying.
trying to hear it.
Yeah,
We see. I mean, look on boxing, Melly Mel rematch. Yes or no?
I would love to have a rematch with Melly Mel, but I don't think he want that.
Did you? How much did you train for that fight?
He's a boxer.
I know he's a boxer.
Oh, okay.
That's why I asked.
I trained about 2 months.
2 months.
I trained about 2 months.
Right.
I was training with world champions.
No, I know. You were 50 on box. I know.
Yeah, I was training with Reggie Johnson, man.
Right.
Like, yeah. And let me say too, man, it's beautiful to see Melly Mel starting to get his praise.
Yeah.
Right. I love Melly Mel. He's a good dude.
Right. I got to ask you this now.
Yeah.
Part of that boxing match, did you want to do it because you had the animosity of down south New York?
Yeah.
See, I knew it.
Yeah, I took the
I
fight.
could tell.
And I wanted to fight the baddest motherfucker in New York. I was like,
I could tell that's what you was fighting for.
I was fighting for the South, bro.
Oh man.
I was fighting for the South.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I told you that. I said, yo, let's fight for the South.
Fighting for the
South. I knew it.
Yeah, I was like, man, who the baddest motherfucker? I said, I want him. I don't care what size. I want to fight the baddest motherfucker they got. They said, would you fight Melly Mel? I said, hell yeah, I'll fight Melly Mel. Let's do it.
I knew that shit. That's why it's funny to me. I'm like, yo, he's fighting for a whole nother reason. They don't get it.
But here's what's funny. When I come out, a very popular rapper, I will not say his name, but he is a legend. He's a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
He said, beat that nigga ass. From New York. I was like, whoa.
Who the fuck said that?
I was like,
One Kid Capri was.
who the fuck said that? I ain't giving you nothing.
Because I seen the video.
Who said that? Controversy.
I ain't giving you nothing. But I will say, he said that. He's like, he said, beat that nigga ass. I said,
We gonna look at that video.
Yeah, look. That video when he coming out and see who which
hold on.
we'll
But
figure it out.
after that, it was other people like rooting for me, like from New York. And I'm like, wait a minute, man, it's supposed to be a New York, Texas thing, right?
Right.
Well, you know, I'm supposed to be behind enemy lines. I'm feeling real comfortable in this motherfucker right now. And I'm in the ring. When I get in the ring, I get in and you know how you lean on the ropes, you know, feel the ropes out. I'm in the ring, I'm feeling the ropes out. And I hear a dude right on the front row, he's like, man, that nigga can fight, man. I said, that nigga can fight.
Freddie Fox knocked out one of the terrorists. Dope E.
Yeah, Freddie Fox.
Yeah.
Shout out to Freddie Fox.
Shout out to Freddie Fox.
Because when Freddie Fox dropped Dope E was holding on to Freddie Fox's leg.
Like Martin did.
And Dope E was like, Freddie Fox was doing like, get the fuck up. Right. He was kicking him like,
right.
He was like trying to, this shit was crazy.
Man.
But yeah, man, but that was crazy, man, because that was a long ass time ago, man. And all of that stuff, man, it's crazy that it shaped hip hop.
No, it did.
Oh yeah.
It did.
All of those events helped to shape hip hop.
Right.
It was like, it was really fun too.
Yeah,
right.
definitely, definitely. Legendary.
No, I'm sorry.
All right, no, okay. He has meetings.
He has meetings,
man
but I gotta ask this last question, but real quick, answer this quickly as possible. I need to know who shaped your pen. Like, take me back, young Willie D, 13, 14, before you got into hip hop. How did you get into it? What inspired you?
15.
15, okay.
We were standing in my neighborhood, standing around listening to Run DMC. One of my friends, Steve Mayweather, shouts out to Steve Mayweather.
Okay.
He said, man, me and Willie can do that. And I was like, listen, and then and the other guy standing around like, yeah, right. So, you know, when we wasn't fighting, you know, most time we wasn't fighting, but you know, we would just be hanging around listening to music and, just kicking it and having fun.
Right.
So he said, me and Willie can do that. And I was like, listening. And the guy started like, yeah, right. So he went inside of his house for an hour. I went inside of my house. And we came back. We went to write.
Oh, okay.
He came out. He said his verse. I came out. I said my verse. He said his verse. And everybody started laughing.
Right.
I said my verse, and they started raising their eyebrows.
Do you remember the verse?
I have no idea.
You have no idea what you said?
Yeah. But I said my verse, and when I said it, they started raising their eyebrows. And that turned the light on.
Yeah.
Right.
And they liked it so much they started like saying, people started saying like, man, you know, say that rap, say that rap.
Right.
So then dudes from different neighborhoods would come around to battle me, and I would say that rap. And I only had 8 bars. So when I got to the end, I'd be like, man, I ain't even gonna fuck with you no more, man. I ain't got nothing else to say to you.
Right.
I literally didn't have nothing else to say because I ain't had no more rhyme.
Right.
You know, but I had to play that. I say, well, you know what? They gonna catch on to this shit sooner or later. So let me write some more, right?
Yeah.
So I turned that 8 bars into 16, and then I did a verse, and then I went on and on. You know? So
Nice.
dope.
Dope,
Yeah.
dope.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Now
Man,
you know.
appreciate you, bro. Like, you know, Andre 3000 once said the South got something to say, but before he said that, y'all was definitely already saying it. You was already saying it, and then some. So we appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you for all you do. Thank you
Yeah.
for all the contributions
Thank
to you. And just like, you know, you say that we don't get mentioned enough, you don't get mentioned enough.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
You put the work in, bro.
Thank you.
And I don't want to like say it like this, but it's got to be said. It's a shame that these motherfuckers don't recognize you more. And really, for the ones who don't, y'all some suckers. What a camera. Y'all some suckers. No more talk.
No more talk.
No more talk.
I like how you ended that.
Yeah.
No more talk.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Salute.